Hello there and welcome, my fellow friends. It is I, KaneFan701, and here, as I had promised, 4 days before, I would do a special part 2 for the 109th anniversary of RMS Titanic. And here we are on April 15th, 2021, 109 years to the day it all happened. It really has been, a very, very, very um, emotional night, let me tell you. Um, like I said, the sinking of the Titanic was just a chain of events that apparently, that no one ever could foresee happening, and it changed the way that shipbuilding had changed forever. Safety measures were taken much more seriously. The addition of having more lifeboats, which was very necessary because, as we know, the Titanic never had enough lifeboats for everybody aboard because she was following an outboarded date of trade regulations at the time. And of course, there was a lot of bad luck and unfortunate stuff that had occurred as well. Like, there was just so much faith in technology that people had back in 1912. But again, the arrogance of mankind can lead to a serious downfall, and this was just perhaps the biggest one at that time period ever happened. I mean, no one could have foreseen what would have unfolded that night, let alone the effect it had on everybody, even to this very day, 109 years later. I mean, the story of the Titanic just doesn't die, and may never will. It just continues on to grow bigger and better, and just educates the new generations who eventually feel the same way as we have done. I mean, growing up as a kid, it can be just a fascinating thing to listen to. But when we get older, the effects of the disaster take an even much more heavier approach, and eventually it gets to that point where it gets too emotional and too gripping, to really get that, when the effects really hit you hard. I mean, even now, it's just so hard to imagine, to even think of what may have transpired. I mean, we all know exactly how it unfolded, but the thing is, I mean, the biggest question I think we can all ask ourselves, it's just hard to imagine without even realizing how we would have acted if we were there that night. What would we have done? Because think about it. These were people that were facing life or death situations, a very heavy moral choice to make, where they would have the choice to whether live or die, or whether somebody else would die in their place. And when I think of Titanic, sometimes we actually try on those methods for size. We try and challenge ourselves and wonder what would we have done if we were in that moral state of dilemma, more or less in an epic fight for survival. It really is an overwhelming thought that even we cannot even, try on ourselves, even though we would dare try to. I mean, we write fan fictions. We write fan fictions, or we try and create what we would have done in our minds had we been there. And that's one thing I think a lot of us can actually relate to. It's just, like I said, even talking about this now is already getting me temporarily emotional because I've already taken a Titanic walking memorial walk. Hang on, I'll be right back in a minute, guys. Hang on a second, guys. I know I'm going to go quickly, apparently. Yeah, last night I was watching A Night to Remember. You know, last night, and apparently I've got to do something very quickly, lads. I'll be right back and I'll continue doing this celebration. So, once again, I apologize if things are a little bit quiet, okay? So just bear with me. Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry if I kept you all waiting there long enough, but I'm back now. Just gotta do something. We can continue on. I'll invite you guys in. Okay. Just coming in now. Hang on. Wait for a special occasion, anyways. Ooh. Okay, let's start getting some people in to join the fun. Here we go. I've put the link in for you guys if you want to join in. So if I'm out of breath, I just had to quickly do something for one of my next door neighbors. It's getting hot out there. Like really hot. In any cases, like I said, it's been pretty an emotional time. So if I sound out of breath, I just had to do a little run in there. Like I said, it's just been an emotional roller coaster as usual. Whenever this day comes, I get very, very morbid, because it's a very, very emotional thing. Like I said, it's just one of the best, Titanic was to be one of the best ships ever done, and she was in terms of how being built she was. But at the same time, everything that happened just ended in tragedy, and White Star would never recover. I mean, it got worse when they lost the Titanic in World War One. But again, it's what the unthinkable happens. It was like the age of the innocents that died that night. And of course, the modern world, like we are now, dawned upon them. And apparently, you cannot be complacent. You can't be, arrogant, self-confident with who you are. And that's what we've learned from the Titanic, And ships are never unsinkable, And of course, you never defy the law of the implacable sea of the Atlantic Ocean, I mean, that's what man was always trying to tame the seas to dominate, but there's just no way you can never do that. There's just no way that we humans can never defeat the elements. I mean, that was from that time, when they thought that shipbuilding had gone so well, which of course they had done. They had evolved tremendously. There was so much faith in the new technology that they had developed in the last century, in the early days, because everything was changing. The world was changing and evolving very, very slowly, but very, very quickly. I think the world was actually shrinking at that point, but apparently, the technology kind of was evolving at a slower pace. It took time, but unlike in today's time, technology has evolved way too ahead. Whereas in the Titanic's case, it was more like this new revolution of what we were doing. Mankind was going to achieve bigger things and make history on scales never before seen, and they were successful. They built one of the biggest, at the time, the biggest vessel ever made. Over 46,000 tons. They were over 800 feet long. And of course, the age of the superliner had begun. I mean, when you look at other vessels like the Lusitania and the Mauretania, which were from the Cunard line, they were like little more than just tin toys. But with Titanic and her sisters Olympic and Britannic, they really hurled in the age of the superliner era, which we see today with modern liners, which are not ships at all, but it shows the evolving technology of how far we've come in ocean traveling. And of course, you have to thank Titanic and her sisters and the other liners of the past that laid the groundwork. They were basically the blueprint of what we have now. I mean, it's like you have to, it's like I'm trying to take something that was negative and turn it into a positive thing. And that's technically what Titanic had done. in a way, almost like sacrificing her own self to lay a valuable lesson that even to this very day that we all have to learn and remember from and never forget. You know. Anyways, guys, if you guys want to join the stream and explain your own words, the stream is right here in the corner. If you guys want to come in and hop on and board and want to share your thoughts and trade some good stories, that's fine. I mean, if you look at the Titanic's legend, it's grown so rapidly to the point where, I mean, in 2012, that was when it hit the big mark, 100 years now, and now here we are almost 10 years to this very day now, where everybody kind of understood the big picture, the whole world grieved. I mean, even now, even during this pandemic crisis, she's still, she is still telling us that that this whole tragedy that should never have happened to begin with serves as an ironic lesson. Yes, Thomas, I know in a couple of weeks it will be the anniversary of Lusitania, but unlike the sinking of the Titanic, the Lusitania sinking was an act of war and bloodshed murder, whereas in Titanic's case, it was an act of peace marine time. So there's a difference there. This one was a tragic accident that had unfollowed, whereas in Lusitania's case, it was an act of murder. That's exactly what happened between the two different vessels. So you're looking at two different scenarios, okay? Because at the time when Titanic was sinking, that was like the beginning of the early stages of the modern world. It was the world was changing at that point, within those moments. The world was changing. Life was becoming more modern and much more dangerous. And Titanic is a legend. She's the legend among all shipping legends that will never be surpassed. I actually kind of compare her to the Flying Scotsman, and of course Tornado, and of course all the other legends in other legends that we've built in our lifetime. Like it's up there with some of the greatest, like Concorde, and the RMS Queen Mary, for instance, who I've been on, by the way. And of course you have the Spitfire. You have the Queen Elizabeth, and all kinds of legends that can be associated with the best. And not to mention, it also is up there with some of the best legends that came before as well, with Lusitania as well, and Mauritania, and the Aquitania. And of course, who else? I'm just trying to remember now. Just trying to think of other legends that Titanic can be associated with it just by the name. I'm still trying to get the stream rolling good. Well, it's just I'm just in the aftermath now, because at this point at this point the survivors would be in the lifeboats, and they would have been picked up by the Carpathia by this time, and would still be picking them up at this time, and probably would have started sailing for New York at this point if we were to go back in time on this day. Oh yeah, the Edmund Fitzgerald is another legend who can be rivaled with Titanic as well. The Empress of Ireland as well, and of course there's so many other great legends that Titanic can be associated with just by its name. Oh, and there's another legend, and also another White Star liner known as the RMS Atlantic, the one that sank off the Newfoundland coast, which was the first major accident for White Star Line in 1873. And that would be the worst disaster for the White Star Line until the Titanic herself would take that title. And yeah. Oh yeah, apparently I'll be doing another separate stream based on Titanic 2. You know that because we have got next year until we finally get confirmation when her replica will be built. There's another one in China that's going to be made for for Titanic in China, but this one's going to be like an actual re-replication. But um, as far as I'm concerned, it's more like the resurrection of Titanic. That's how I look at this replica as, because it's going to look exactly like Titanic a little bit, even though it's not the original in terms of its appearance and body form. I look at it as resurrecting the soul of Titanic, and she'll continue to have a new life. That's how I look at this whole project with the thing that Clive Palmer's doing right now. That's just how I look at it as. Hey there, Thomas. I can see you're on. I'll put you in a second. I'm just going to see if we can get some other people to join in with us as well to make it more, you know, intriguing, I will say. Okay, hang on. Okay, I'm just about to go live right now. Hang on, here we go. Hey there, Thomas.
Hey,
Welcome
Kane.
on.
You're right.
Yep, hey, okay. Sorry if I don't sound too talkative, but I'm trying to. But it's just the fact that I've only just come back in, catching me breath. I have to do something quickly for my next door neighbours, and it's boiling hot out there somewhat. And not to mention, I'm still kind of in a bit of a morning state because I was watching one of the films of Titanic last night, and admittedly, I had a very tearful sleep last night. I'm not going to lie. I tend to mourn quite a lot on this day, especially during the night of last night as well. I don't know why, I just do. I've been doing that since 2009. Don't know why.
Yeah,
Just
I know what it feels like. That actually happened to me when I watched the 1997 movie. The one that makes me cry is one where Jack dies.
Not that bit. No, to me, there's a difference. Growing up, oh, this is gonna be cool at the same time. You know, I just think nowadays it's not the romance story that was me surrounding Titanic nowadays. I mean, that was for the film effort at the time. But growing up, I thought at the time that's how it all went down. I actually thought all these characters were real. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I thought they were among the survivors and not fictional. That's just how it was as a kid. But at the time now, I just, my love for that film hasn't changed. But I just kind of like step away from the romantic fictional stories, and I kind of stick with the historical. That's kind of like, because it has more of a realism. I have a much more better understanding of what may have transpired that night. And that's just how it is. I just look at the fictional characters as background as not important anymore. Don't get me wrong. I still love the film. I just think, too much of, I like to be more historical, but at the same time, I have my own romantic thing with Titanic. I'm not going to lie. And not to sound glimp, but I actually did kind of, not to sound glimp, but I actually did. I hate to admit this, but for the last 10 years, not to be glimp, but I actually did kind of fall in love with the mid sister of the Olympic class vessels. And I still am today still. It's strange because it's a very unusual thing because the name Titanic has a romantic feel towards it. It's like know it by name. You know the vessel as a brother, a sister, a mother, or even a father, for instance, or someone that you knew in your life. I mean, even when you go to visit the wreck of Titanic, and seeing it is just like an experience of a lifetime. And it's kind of true with what I'm trying to say, because when you go down and see it, it's like visiting an old friend or someone that you was a lost long family relative, or someone that it's like you coming home to a family, and like all these different emotions pull at you at different directions. And that's something I've never had until roughly 2010. I started to get that feeling. I don't know why, it just came. I think the reason was because of me being a lot older, and I understand the tragedy from a much more better understanding than I was as a kid growing up. Because growing up, I was listening to films and everything that I enjoyed watching, and at the time, I was using the film of Titanic as a learning curve. Like, this is how it unfolded, and this is what happened. I mean, if you were to go back from 1997 into 1998, because I saw the film in 1998, not 1997, because I was still learning in my early days of reading the books and early documentaries until
I was born that year in 1997.
Oh, congrats! You're the same age as the movie.
Very funny. I was in January.
Maybe. It's kind of funny because, to tell you the truth, 1996 was where it all started for me with Titanic when she entered my life. And here's an old saying: when the Titanic gets into your life, she never leaves. And she hasn't left my life and never will.
Yeah, for instance, I was learning about her sister, Britannic, and even the Edmund Fitzgerald as well. That's the whole part of my life.
Well, Edmund Fitzgerald is a freighter from the Great Lakes, although she has been nicknamed the Titanic of the Great Lakes, so I do see a strange connection, even though I don't like to always compare Titanic to other vessels, but with Fitzgerald, I kind of understand that the two are legends in their own ways.
Yeah. Rest in peace to them all.
Although the difference is...
But anyway, even though this year is 109 years since the sinking, I still pay tribute to them every year.
I do. You may not see it right now, but on my icon is what I was wearing last night. And yes, I was wearing it last night. I'm actually not wearing the t-shirt I've got on now, but I've got my cap on though, which I wear. I actually got that cap, the captain's capping thing from Belfast, in Titanic's birthplace, when my ex-girlfriend took me to the place, and I actually got it. Good, not bad for a good price for about £10. And first time going there was too much for me. I actually broke down in tears when I left the museum. I don't know why. I just did. I just broke so automatically. I don't know what happened. I just did. But it was one of the best things that my ex-lover did. But I will go back there again when it's much safer, when this pandemic lifts a little bit, when it's much safer. And I'm not going to fly over. I would dare challenge myself to cross the Irish Atlantic, to get a sense of what it would be like to enter Ireland via sea, which I wouldn't mind doing. I dare test myself.
Yeah. I had a similar emotion feeling when I went to the Flying Scotsman first time in Steam. I tell you what, I was so emotional. I was absolutely excited, and a little tear came out of my eye.
Wait, so you so to make this understandable, you actually saw Flying Scotsman on the year it returned in 2016?
No, 2018.
Oh, I see. Your first experience seeing, It's funny because I've met Flying Scotsman 5 times, and I was actually, I don't know why, but in 2016 when it came back after 10 years from its overhaul, I don't know why, but when it came back in 2016 when everybody was emotionally in love, I don't know why, there was just, I don't know. I mean, all this whole time I've loved Flying Scotsman as a normal steam engine, but when it came back after 10 years, I don't know why, I had newer feelings for the locomotive, and I only came to realize that this engine actually had a family connection with me. I don't know, and I'm not lying. I actually, and now I actually have this romantic connection with Flying Scotsman, even though it has more like a family feel towards it nowadays, because it was built the same month as I was in. When I was born in 1991, the 5th of February, Flying Scotsman came into service in 1923 in February on the 24th. I think it was, on the 24th of February of that year. So there's a connection there with me in that locomotive. Not to mention,
there's also a history with my family. My mum and grandfather saw that engine back in the 80s, and my granddad actually got some photos of the engine where it was apple green before it was painted in Brunswick green as it is now.
I actually think in a cool way that the Titanic thing as well. I mean, with Flying Scotsman, it's funny because my uncle Ernie, who I had shown you once, he actually fired up Flying Scotsman and drove that locomotive. Let alone he also drove one of Tornado's siblings, which was an untold story he never told me until after I heard from his wife before she too would pass on. So I have 2 engines from the London North Eastern Railway or whatever it is, actually, who have a tie. But any cases, though, this is about Titanic. But again, I can see what you're saying. I actually, and speaking of which, I know I said this, the crew kind of laughed a little bit because I've actually nicknamed the Flying Scotsman as the Titanic of British Railways. And some people kind of felt that was a bit of a funny gesture I gave, but they kind of understood my passion. Don't even ask me why I named her that way. I just look at her that way now, and that's how she is. Hey Jack, Jack. I don't believe the theory that Titanic and her sister ever swapped identities. I don't believe that ever happens, and don't get me started because that kind of upsets and annoys a lot of people.
Yeah,
there's just no way that happened.
I think Titanic and Olympic are just the same shitheads, and they never swapped. They just stay as they are.
Well, like I said, yeah, I know. But as we all know, Titanic and her sister Olympic began as twins, so they were very identical. But over time, fitting out of Titanic, they had some improvements and in changes done, so they wouldn't look as identical. But back in the days, if you were watch the the departure of Olympic from New York, a lot of people at the time, and myself included as a kid growing up, I actually thought that was Titanic actually leaving, because if you look at it from the rear end, from the stern and halfway through the midsection, it does look like Olympic, whereas in fact Olympics are slightly smaller, but they're still over 800 feet long, but they're slightly smaller, and of course slightly smaller, but also had a very like I said, they were very nearly identical, but at the time, this was 1912, and if you were to look at it from the time when anybody who first saw these vessels, neither one of them would have just been able to tell the difference back then.
Yeah,
and that's one of the fun things about it. It gives you an idea of what may have happened.
Yeah, I can get the feeling. Even there are loads of photographs of Titanic when it was departing from Southampton and all the way into New York. They never made it.
I can only imagine what may have happened. Oh my boy, Let's Play is there. Nice. They were two separate ships. Of course, yes, Let's Play, buddy. I know they were there because the fact is that they were both sisters. They did start off as twins, as I've said before, but they ended up stopped becoming identical because of the improvements that Titanic had that her sister didn't have. Because you've got to keep in mind, Olympic was the prototype of the class, and of course Titanic and Britannic were basically the official two new ones that were going to come into service. And if all the events hadn't happened, if we didn't have World War I, and if we didn't have the sinking of the Titanic, I can guarantee you history would have played out so differently. And I do believe White Star would have dominated for such a very, very long time. And I think Cunard would have been put out of business because that's who they were rivaling with at the time, with the White Star. And I think Titanic and Olympic would have legitimately have held something pretty special. And I think they would have held the title of being the most luxurious ocean liners to ever sail the seas for quite a long, long time. It didn't matter what the rival German shipping yards or other companies at the time were rivaling, because at the time no one could have matched Titanic for what she was featuring, because that was the thing that White Star were better at doing. They were very good at
doing at the time.
They were good for everything. They were really good at making almost like a palace hotel at seas, but still captured what what the world was visioning at that time. Oh, my phone's blowing up. Jim's here. Hey there, mate. Hey there, lads. Welcome on board for the
guys.
Part 2 anniversary.
Oh, there we go.
Hey there, Let's Play, man. Nice to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Hang on. Yeah,
oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck are these people doing on my server? It looks like a shitpost miracle. It's literally just a shitpost miracle.
So, how you two guys been up to? You been all right?
Like, why would you name your ship company Sus Starline?
Who's saying that, guys? Sus Starline. What's going on here? We don't want any.
Let's Play said it.
Oi! Hey, Jim, no, no.
Jimmy!
Oh God, here we go again.
No drama comedy sectionary on Titanic.
You're
okay.
not starting this shit again.
I didn't even say anything. Well, now I'm talking.
Listen, here we go. Anyways, lads, like I said, I know we're trying to keep ourselves at bay. But anyways, and like I said, okay, Jack Professional says, have you seen the film Raise the Titanic? I'm going to get to that because that, to me, despite that film was a flop, I love that movie.
Hey, Kane fan. I have a ship server. You know what I mean on Discord. Do you see this? Do you see this? Do you see this monstrosity that I have to deal? Do you see what I have to deal with? This is what I have to deal with every day.
Hang on, let me just put your share screen up, lads. I'm doing a bit.
Like,
oh, on Discord, what the hell? What's going on?
This is my ship server. Look at the name.
Oh, you have a ship server, hey? I didn't realize you did. Intriguing.
Yeah, I have a lot of servers. I have
nice.
Spring Valley, I have Transatlantic Lines, PMM Transport.
Speaking of which, I won't mind joining your transatlantic one, mate, if you don't mind me too. That's a good symbol, though, I will admit.
That? My friend made it.
Very nice.
The flag down there, see that there?
Yeah,
that's the White Star Line flag, yeah.
That's actually quite cool. I like that. That's actually a really nice looking new flag.
I would have gladly accepted this if it wasn't a shit post. Okay? Because it's literally related to Among Us, okay? Here's the thing. Look at the name of the company first. What's the name of the company, people?
Starline.
Starline.
Oh, wait, no, it gets better. Where's it located?
Sussland.
Seriously?
What's the slogan?
That
Travel the sus while being sus.
That makes no sense. That's kind of a little BS right there.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
As you can see, this is bullshit. All of this is bullshit.
Language.
Listen, if the Titanic herself would have seen this, she probably would have said, as Jack or Rose would say in the movie, this is absolutely absurd.
Now, wait.
Absolutely.
Don't hate me. What was that? The Californian actually did its job. No. The Californian is retarded. Here we go. This. Now, see, here's the cool thing about what I could do with my... Ignore that other tab. You don't see anything. Hang on, wait. I gotta fix my window.
Madagascar.
What one? What?
What you just said. You didn't see anything.
Oh, yeah. No, that's from Madagascar. No. Here, I could do it better. You didn't see anything.
Yeah.
You didn't see anything.
Right. Here. Let me reshare my screen so I could show you what I've been... Actually, this has been around for like a year. My entire screen, yes, sure. This is what I've been working on. This actually took me weeks. By weeks, I mean it took me weeks. So
okay, several weeks. I get you.
Pretty much, it was maybe like a week or two, a month, a year of my life that I'll never get back.
Wow.
That's the same thing. When I hate to be off topic, but it was like a few years, like with me when I did the 311 movie. 2 years of my life I sacrificed. Yeah, so I know the feeling, bro.
I still love the 311
that's what I forgot
movie.
too.
It's still beautiful.
My company.
Yeah.
So
impressive. I like this. You know what? So if I'm trying to jump the gun, you idiots, but I'm kind of foreseeing what my new fanfic is going to turn out to be, I think.
So, PMM White Star, yes, my company owns White Star Line. Because Cunard Line doesn't get shit from me.
Okay, I know we're trying to... I get that, man. Listen, Jesus, it's so funny how you and me think alike, almost similar here, man. But let's just say my version is White Star is more like a resurrected version, but not like as a company, but it'll be more like a privately preserved company that preserves White Star's memory and Titanic as well. But yours is like a reformation of the company like raising it back into full service under your command. There's a difference. There's somewhat of a difference there, okay? But
Kind of.
anyway,
It's hard to. Go ahead.
I was just kind of trying to make a comparison there, but yeah, anyways, continue on.
Hang on, let me just pin this real quick so people actually have a proper look at a proper template, because this server is meant, because like I told you before, I do roleplay. Hence all of these channels that I have down here. Wait, I'm curious. What someone posted?
Speaking of which, if you want to, you can actually join my Titanic fanfic server, dude, if you want to. I think
sure.
you are. Hang on, are you actually?
No, I'm not in it.
No.
Oh,
hang on.
Why? Why do you people do this?
That's the thing.
Why are there battleships?
That's horrible. I know. Why do they do this sort of? Yeah, I know. That's kind of. I know they love their battleshipping and they like to role play as them.
Oh
as well.
No, trust me. There was a time that there was a U-boat. I just pulled out my gal over here, the USS Wisconsin. She handled the situation very nicely. There were no survivors.
People are. I can't tell if there's any of these dudes in your server are male or female. I can't tell. Jesus Christ.
What, these?
Yeah, all these users. It's almost like.
Well, this is actually a bot. This is Tupperbox. Tupperbox is like.
Oh yeah, they're a bit of a nuisance.
Actually, I kind of like it because I use it for my servers, like the server.
I understand, but they can be on some perspectives. Don't get me wrong.
Let me see. We have over 64 members.
Yeah. Speaking of which, mate, you're going to be in luck with this because you're about to check out my Titanic fanfic server, which is actually based on my fanfics I'm doing, which we can actually help each other to make ideas and what scenes and whatnot. And if you'd like me to, you're more than welcome to play a part in this because I've been rebooting my fanfic. You know, I've just done A Night to Remember a few months ago, which was more historically corrected, but a little bit of a twist in the irony, and it has like an anime approach to Titanic as well. Like I said, so be wary, okay? So it's
ignore
kind of cool.
Good.
Just ignore
that tab.
Yeah, just ignore. I am ignoring the tab. Yeah. But just ignore the other bits and bobs, but because it's surrounding, it's my take of my character, what would happen had he been there. As a matter of fact, I will actually show you some of this during this celebration. We've only got a few hours anyway before I run out of time.
Wait, you see all of these right here? You see all these lines?
Mm-hmm.
Those were actually real companies.
I see.
Back in like 1900. I went through the history books trying to find all these companies. You have American Line, Anchor Line, Atlantic Transport Line, Canadian Pacific Line, CGT, French Line, Cunard Line, Hamburg America Line, Holland American Line.
Yep,
NASM.
All the companies that were there during the big rivalry.
But, you see this ship right here?
Yes.
It is actually one of the oldest ships that PMM Transport owns. This one. But it gets better. So you see how it goes from 1910 to 1929?
Yeah.
So if we take a little read here, during PMM's peak in the beginning of 1900s, the company immediately went from lower class rank to the notable higher class ranking. So it basically slowly went up the tiers as, a company that's recognizable like Cunard, White Star.
That's very good.
Not only had the company gained a huge amount of popularity with the new ships, but the railroad was flourishing nicely along the East Coast. So basically, not only is the company running a railroad in this alternate timeline, it's not only running a railroad, it's running a ship company.
So they're basically transporting passengers via rail to ocean lining as well.
Pretty much.
That's just exactly.
My friend's like, "Are you going to go to air travel?" Literally, this is my friend was like, "Are you going to go to air travel next?" And I looked at him and I was like, "Never." I said, maybe trucking, but not airplanes.
And it works.
Though, unfortunately, it would be a tough road from this point on as the company ran into issues with other big companies, making new rivals with the Cunard Line and many of the East Coast Railway. Well, I don't know why it's railways, it's railroads. Time.
In America,
George's grandson had taken over the company and decided it was time to make an alliance of sorts with the White Star Line. The two companies then decided they would get along equally and help each other out in times of need. In this case, it was mainly steel, passengers, and coal that was transferred between the two. When October 20th, 1910 came around, the RMS Olympic was launched. PMM's owner was there to watch the beast go down the slipway to touch the sea for the first time in her career. It was so amazing to see and watch that James Morse actually asked Thomas Andrews and Thomas Andrews, James Bruce Ismay, and Lord Perry himself to come to a meeting to discuss a few things. And after the next few days, it would be set in stone that PMM Transport would own its very own Olympic-class ocean liners. So, basically what happened here is that the company actually got the right to own three of the company's very own liners, right?
That's cool.
So as time goes on, we have, let's see here.
Well, they were Kane.
The Olympic, which would be temporarily used by White Star Line until,
Kane.
let's see, first ship of her class,
Olympic.
Olympic.
Now. Spoiler alert, he wears
Cool
this now.
hat.
Yeah, I got it
I like
from
your hat's very
Belfast.
cool. Did you well?
I was going to put my captain's suit on, but it's bloody hot over here, so I'm not going to actually
Aha! Here
sweat.
it is.
Mm.
So, the fourth ship of her class, the RMS Oceanic, and lastly, the last ship of her class, the RMS Majestic. Wait, hold up. The first ship of her class, Olympic, would be temporarily used by the White Star Line until... Oh, yeah, that's right, because I got rid of the third one. I got rid of the third one because my friend's like, I don't know if
you forgot.
So we have Oceanic. That's Oceanic.
Nice. I like the fact how you put Oceanic into the full funnel sector. That's really cool. I like that.
So then you have this one, which actually uses Britannic design. This is Majestic, and our very own favorite, Olympic.
Nice.
Baby.
That's really cool. I like that idea.
Olympic is actually my baby, though.
So again, not to sound glimp, you kind of have like a bit of a romance towards the prototype of the Olympic class, which is Olympic herself.
Yeah,
That's
well,
the-
actually, see, this is the whole point.
Even
of
though
what
Olympic is a beautiful ship, but even though they do look identical from each other, like Titanic and Britannic and even Oceanic.
I was going to say, that's the cool part about it, because not only does the company own Olympic, but they actually have the Titanic. See, this is what happened. Since it's an alternate timeline.
So this is basically in your version of what you think the timeline would have been, and of course Titanic would never have had an early death had she survived.
It also rose, awareness to the situation of few lifeboats for passengers. Ships were able to get there in time, obviously, but so this did bring up the situation.
So technically in yours, Titanic did hit the iceberg, but she didn't sink.
No, she did not sink. She
still
went
raised
below
the
the waterline. She went very dangerously below the waterline, but she did not sink because the Californian actually came to her rescue and saved her. So two ships pumping out water is better than one, as I always say. But together, the Olympic class, the whole entire fleet together is actually known as the Dazzle Fleet.
Nice.
What's that?
The Dazzle Fleet sounds good.
Unfortunately, Majestic wasn't a part of this because she was sent into the hospital ship service and worked with her older sister, Britannic, and the five sisters successfully survived the war and continued their careers. After the war, the ships were brought back to their original service and worked in peacetime unharmed. So
good. No one would ever want to wish harm on these liners.
True. But now comes the tough part.
The Depression. Yeah, this was basically like, as we see in the actual timelining, where they had peaked, they had lived a good life. Now it was just time to, as we say in professional wrestling, hang the boots up. In this case, but to put it in ocean lining, they're hanging their funnels up, all their propellers up.
So,
or hang the flag up.
Yeah, hang the flag up. Just as 1930 came around, the company was at its peak in population with its newest liners running across the Atlantic 24/7. Disaster struck. Not only did the stock market crash from 1929 make it worse, but the Great Depression came in and passenger service was basically dropped dead. Everything was at a dead halt. Unfortunately, White Star Line was going bankrupt. PMM saw this as an opportunity to save both companies. So in 1932, the White Star Line and PMM Transport merged together to make a bigger company that nobody could imagine. Some of the older ships had to go to be scrapped. PMM refused to scrap the Olympic, and after some time, they refurbished her along with the newly bought RMS Mauritania. Who was calling me? Not picking that up.
Wow,
Jesus, okay,
I get the joke there. He was calling you. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that as a joke, okay, mate? I'm being serious there.
Afterwards, the rebuild of the reconstruction begun on all the Olympic-class liners, including Mauritania, who was, newly just bought from Cunard, because, they sent her to scrap.
Okay.
And eventually, all the ships were refitted for sailing once more and put out to sea, bringing the attention they had back in 1910 and 1920.
All right,
so,
then, question.
Here's the sad part about this. I actually did find this image. This is Olympic and Mauritania sitting at the scrapyard waiting to die.
I know. I've seen these videos before, okay? So, hey, let's let you know I'm very aware of the images, okay? So I'm very well.
Yeah.
You don't have to remind me twice, bro. I'm already.
It's hard to look at this image and just be happy because you can feel, for these.
Oh, yeah, you can sense they were going to go.
Because they grow their own personality. Because it's like.
It's like steam engines. It's like steam locomotives, no matter what they are. Sometimes these transportations, they're more than just transports. They have their own personalities. It's almost like they're living creatures in their own ranks. I'm telling you.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. You see this quote up here?
Yeah.
And this is true. We all become equal when death comes to, claim us.
Yeah.
Rivalry is forgotten forever.
But nothing, I know. But here, in this case with Olympic and Mauritania, you can only stand. It kind of made sense in real life, although I still believe that they could have been preserved. But think about it; they were pretty old. They were retired. They were old. They had finally, had lived a good career. They survived the war, which is a good enough thing for them. And I think
they lived their youth. The oldest ocean liner I know that survived.
They lived their life.
Is the Queen Mary.
Yeah, Queen Mary.
And Aquitania. And Aquitania was actually the oldest operating ocean liner until 1950, 1960, when a piano came crashing through her deck.
Yeah, apparently Aquitania was the longest served double full-funneled of her time.
Yeah, she was.
And the last one.
She's actually one of the ships that my company owns. I'll show you the list that I have for my company. You want to see something crazy? I did research. I'll continue with the document, but let me see. Where's the limits?
Especially about Titanic, dude, man. We're getting a bit off topic, bro.
Yeah, we are getting a little bit off topic.
So let's not go too far. I know you want to, man. I know it's been a while since we spoke, so it's good to hear from you. But just remember, we're here to trade. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know I'll be showing mine later in a second to show what I've been up to with.
Where it is. But anyways.
I don't like the idea of what some people might think if they get the wrong version, but this is supposed to be a tribute thing and not a mockery or whatever the case may be. So if anybody starts any issue troubles, then there's going to be let's just say there's going to be some Titanic hell to pay. We don't want this disrespected. I was actually at a live demonstration yesterday for the Titanic. It was since it was the 109th. It's 109 years now. 109th. I was there for the 105th anniversary. Yeah, 109th. Me too. I was there. That was on. Speaking of which, that was when we finally got the answers to the coal bunker theory as well, which I know some people think it never played a role, but now I think about it, and I had the documentary and I've watched it. I'm going to admit, I do believe it did play a role. It weakened the structure and what caused Titanic to, lose her battle. With the bulkhead breaking through, the iceberg alone couldn't have just damaged it. I do believe the coal fire itself and the days leading up did damage her so badly. And I think, back then Titanic was just like other vessels at the time. Coal bunker fires were very, very common. They stopped by themselves, but the thing was, unlike many other vessels at the time, Titanic had the biggest coal bunkers decks ever done. Basically, they were 3 stories high. And that's how big, that. So you would think of just how much that would be, you know.
Yeah,
So,
but see, that's the thing. I looked at this theory as well with the coal bunker fire theory. I don't think that actually happened.
I do believe it played a role. Yeah, that's why I mentioned it. I mentioned this in a spoiler alert in my race Titanic fan theory when the humanized form of Titanic herself actually reveals not just her healed up iceberg damage, which is like a hideous slash or whatever it is, like a mache blade or whatever it was, but it shows a very bad, horrible scarring where the coal bunker actually occurred, right near where the iceberg actually grazed. So it's kind of, oof. Yeah, a little bit of an anime jarring
if you
thing
look at
to
this
say.
image, right? Because this is a supposed coal bunker fire theory, you know?
Yeah,
And,
Yeah.
you know, you see steam
there
coming
it is,
out.
yeah.
But look at that spot. That just
Yeah.
looks like it's just an old, like, you know how the old pictures have, like, those, like, look at this one. This one
Like an
has
old
it, too.
smudge.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
it has a black smudge. Like, look at this one. It's like, oh, well, that means this area's on fire. Or, you know.
No, it was on the right. No, it was on the right side, not on the left side. I can see what
I know,
people.
but
Listen, there are some internet people that tend to do that, but here I do think that was an actual. I do believe it is an actual coma. I'm very believable about this. So I mean, other people may not want to dispute the fact. I mean, even the fireman had said, when it was over, when they did get it out, they just painted the bad mark, which was very dented, and they just covered it up with black oil to. Just to make it look like it wasn't damaged. That was just a procedure thing. As you can see there, Titanic's coal bunkers were 3 stories high, so they were much taller than others at the time. So you can only imagine.
They were large. They were
the
largest.
Enormous.
Of course, they were the largest bunkers at the time. But to believe that this is what happened, because here's the watertight door system right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like right here somewhere. I can't even see it because it says steel girder beams and it's blocking my view. But like, this is boiler room 5. This is boiler room 6.
Mm-hmm.
So that means the bunker is like right there. There it is. That's the,
that's the passage where the fireman had to get up and to climb up into the next compartment. That's how they did it back then in Titanic's case. You had to go over them.
These are Orloff deck level walkways, and if you look, there's a coal bunker hatch. If this bunker was on fire, that means this whole entire bunker would be on fire, not including this one if it were to spread. So how did they keep it contained?
Well, the only way to do it was very, very simple. If you had this, all you had to do, you had to move it around. Then the only way, you had to move the coal around, and there was just no way to make any headway towards it, as they had said. What they did was eventually, though, as what was the normal procedure, you just had to work around the clock, shovel the burning coal, and shove it into the furnaces. And that was the only way to get rid of it. But the thing was, these as I said before, Titanic had she had 300-foot story high building coal stacked up thing, so it was almost literally impossible and very endless. But they did manage to get it out by Saturday from I think it was about roughly Saturday or so, or just before the fire itself was contaminated when the iceberg hit. So they managed to get it out by then. So about 2 days prior, I think a few days or so, or whatever it was, it took it right to the day to get it out. And
well, from what I see here, it looks like it went up all the way to F deck, because it says it here too. Look at this. Like, here's the bunker,
G deck and F deck,
G deck, and then F deck. How did it go all the way from there to here?
If it happened that way, that would have burnt a whole lot of the stuff up around, like I said. So something must have happened. I mean, they've even said that there was a coal bunker even further near the back, like in one of the rear boiler rooms, which was evidence of spread against, which is why not to mention,
but it's just so strange to look at, because like here's the coal bunkers here, and they're saying this caught on fire up here. How did it go from here to here? If there's 2 rooms here with steel girders and just steel everywhere, there's no wood.
There must have been. I mean, back then they were very, very common back then, But once you smell smoldering, in brothering, it's already been too late. I mean, but like I said, I mean, a lot of people don't all believe in it, but I kind of believe it played a role in weakening the structure, and of course, and everything else. But I do believe that, I do believe it did weaken the structure enough for the iceberg to grade up. But the bulkheads did hold firm, even though they did not go all the way to the top of the weather deck. If they did, if them bulkheads had been raised up higher enough, then Titanic would have survived a little bit longer and would have sank even more slowly.
Well, I don't think she would have sank slower, even if, say this fire didn't happen. It might have actually not have been a cause to the sinking. If you know.
No, as I said, I don't think it caused sinking, but I do believe it played a role in weakening the structure of that.
Oh, no, most definitely, because I don't know if you noticed. Wait, let me see.
Even when the scene of the iceberg went script.
Oh, no, it's not metal.
Plates, and so, and also when the the fire where it was, I bet that must have opened one of the rivets so water can get it, and then also.
Hang on, I've actually got the words. Even though in my fanfic, Titanic in her human form, in her spiritual formation, actually explains the memory of how it all played out when she tells, in Ray's Titanic in my alternative. And I don't want to be spoiler alert, but we will get to that at some point. Anyways, trust me, mates, this is going to be cool. If any of you guys are listening to this, you might be scratching your heads wondering what the hell are we talking about. But anyways, this is what was said, and then according to what I got the information from one of the firemen, because they actually did explain this to one of the journalists in New York or wherever it was.
Oh, here it is. Right here.
There you go.
I couldn't find a good image, but that's steel heating up. So
yep, it is.
If you think about this straight, because I've seen steel heat up, well, not steel, metal, but it's kind of the same, just different material-wise, See how it creates a burn mark and then the red? If that was the case and someone saw that outside the ship, Titanic would not have left that dock. Immediately would have been pulled out of service.
She would have done, but the thing was, people were told, the officers down below were told to keep their mouths shut and don't say anything.
They were saying that fire was so bad,
It was very bad. You were talking about a sense about roughly about close to 3,000 or something degrees, so it would have been bloody tense hot down there.
Oh, yeah.
Raging inferno.
So, if that's the case, because then it would have looked like this color. It would have an orange reddish color to it, if you know what I mean, because it's hot. It's smoking hot. So they're saying that Titanic caught fire, and if she caught fire, I'm pretty sure that ship would not have left that dock.
No, they would never have left. No. From the day they sailed, she was literally on fire. No one knows this. I mean, the officers were told to don't say anything about it because it would have spooked the fan. It would have spooked the passengers on board. I mean, think about it. Who would want to go on a vessel? I mean, White Star would have lost all the money. They would have lost out badly. I mean, who would? I
don't think they would have lost their credibility because, like you said, it is common ships catch fire.
Yeah, but for someone like Titanic, who was brand new, this new breed of generation, and then this happens, and you at least expected it. I mean, think about it. Who would want to go and sell the next set of tickets, right?
I mean, there's a few people that canceled their ticket to Titanic.
Yeah.
So it's so weird because
JP Morgan, who was the owner of the White Star, he bought White Star and the Red Star line, so he was technically the actual original owner of Titanic, even though J. Bruce Ismay owned her. I mean, the company White Star was on JP Morgan's side. He actually was going to be on the vessel, and he made a last-minute change, and he got off, and he never died. So he was quite...
Which is weird if you think about it. It's like, well, wait a minute, the guy who technically invented the ship just canceled his trip on it?
Do you know what I think it is? I think it was. I don't know why. Maybe, in my opinion, I think he didn't feel like he was ready yet. So maybe it was maybe after Titanic would have succeeded, then maybe he would travel on her later or at a later date. Who knows what was going through his mind? But unknowingly he made a good decision. But had he been on board and seen what was going on, I think he probably would have. Kept his mate in line a little bit. And but think about it. I don't think he was as arrogant and confident as the other end. We don't know what personality J.P. Morgan had, but I do have a funny feeling. I think he was kind of a cool individual and a nice fella, but I don't think he would have had so much faith and confidence in Titanic. I think he was just like hoping that these vessels would do well and just and try and do what
Just
all
do
the
their
others did back in
job.
the day. Just do what they had to do. I don't think he was a very greedy, selfish person or whatever. But I know he wanted a fair share of the Atlantic crossing because he did a great job in the railroading industry, as we all know. Now he wanted a piece.
Oh, he did a fantastic job.
That's what I mean. So I think in his mind, if his railroad, whichever he was owning at the time, can do well with passengering, hopefully he thought maybe he could do it with ocean lining, and perhaps Titanic and the White Star Liner and those that he bought out could make a nice addition to what he was building at the time. It's almost like he was making his own transport empire or whatever it was at the time. Because at the time this was like a new era, a new generation was coming on. So there was a lot of optimism, and it was a great time, I think, back in those days for people to envision what they had for the future and what they were doing. They were capitalizing everything. That world was changing, and they tried everything positive to make it like it's almost like what we've been doing in the last 10 or whatever years. Like, we have these great visionaries that we have, and we go with it. But the difference is with Titanic and the others, they took their time. They never rushed too much or anything like that. They weren't overlooking as much like we do in our time now, where technology is just soared way too fast, and they don't do proper testing. They show this, but they don't show the flaws that they might have, like we do with our laptops and televisionary, and they keep on updating this and that, and they never tell you. So I think we've gone way too fast. I think we sped way too ahead of ourselves here. Where in Titanic's case, it kind of was similar, but at a much more slower pace, right until the very last moment.
Yeah.
That's I wanted to ask you a question. You there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, try and love. Hey, Greg. I know someone's trying to get my attention, but please don't. I don't think nobody else is getting my attention. Anyways, Greg and Daniel, they can pop right in.
Hello.
Hey, lads, what?
I was gonna.
Permission to come aboard, Captain.
Kane.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
Hi, Daniel.
Hey guys, what's up?
So Glenn,
Right.
I just finished my live stream. I have hit 5.7 thousand views on my YouTube channel.
Congratulations!
Can you hear me now?
In the last 28
stop sharing
days.
my screen. There we go.
Also, Jim, good to see you again, Jim. Greetings from how's everything going in Australia, eh?
Pretty good.
Bloody spider.
I'm not at my home right now. I'm at one of my auntie's houses because
I could tell that I could see a difference.
How you coping, Daniel? Doing quite well. In case you're wondering how I'm doing, I'm really doing a good job. Despite what's been unfolding lately, I've coped with a lot of things a lot more better.
I will be right back. I will be right back when I mute my mic.
That's all right. I'm coping a lot better, by the way, Daniel. In case you're asking, I am doing very good. I'm not like, I know you're very aware of what's been unfolding, but I've
could you let Jim finish before you finish something?
Yeah, hey, well, I am the captain. I'm sort of captain of the stream right now. But anyways, yeah, back to you, Jim.
So if you're probably wondering what I'm doing here, it's because one of my family members has passed away.
Holy shit!
Rest in peace to them.
It was my.
Oh, no.
It was my granny called Mary.
Oh dear.
She died of old age.
Sorry about that, mate.
And we actually started today in the sea.
It hurts. It'll hurt for a while, but you tend to learn to just move on. It's one of those things where you hurt for a long time, and trust me, I lost my dad in February. He died February 16th in his sleep, so I know exactly how you feel in a way.
Another thing that still haunts me is also the loss of my high grandmother. His sister, my great auntie Sheila.
It's just something that you gotta just fight it.
Yeah, that still haunts me. Yeah. And even with the loss of my sister as well. God bless her soul.
Sorry for the loss, man.
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah.
Hey, Kane fan.
Yes?
Did you see that thing I was doing?
Yeah, I saw it.
You might
I'm
actually
back.
like that. By the way, you might really like. I'll show you what it is, and you might actually like. You might be playing it for a while because I
Holy
might get you addicted to it.
Guys, look down at the bottom. I think somebody else has popped in.
Oh,
Who?
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Jessica's here. Woo!
Yes. I had no idea. If Jessica wants to be a part of this, she's more than happy to. I did
Oh,
not know she
woo!
was going to.
So somebody's gonna have to be put backstage.
Yeah, my
I don't
cousin
know,
is called Jessica.
Not gonna be me.
Might be a little laggy for me, but hang on.
Well,
I'm gonna see if it works.
let's not be too confused, guys, because we have Jessica on the icon, aka 311, on Let's Play symbol. So let's not get too confused, all right?
Well, I mean, one's an LMS
Right.
Ginty, the other's a T54 mountain type. I think we'll be good.
I know, but I'm just saying, let's not get the name identity all muddled up here.
I'm a Colada's back too.
I like
In the YouTube live chat, though.
You always learn. You always learn something new. Here we go. I'm just
No,
reading what-
whoever's singing that, the lyrics actually go, "If you wanna get copyright."
Oh, we do not want that. We
Do you
not
want
want
to be right? Clay.
Never gonna copyright you.
that.
Can you
Otherwise,
believe
it's
that with the
thrown
Rick roll?
overboard. Jesus
Actually,
Christ, how you
Rick
making me
rolling-
do
Rick
it
rolling
now?
Rick rolling has no
Yeah.
effect on me because Rick rolling has
here
no
you go.
effect on me because I actually like the song.
It is a good song. If someone sends it to me, it's like
I tried rickrolling him earlier, and it's like,
Yeah, he tried Rick rolling me earlier on my live stream. I was like, "Plot twist! Here's your reverse card. You can't fool. You can't Rick roll me."
Yeah, it's
Hey,
just like-
Real Lash up here
Oh,
too.
wait.
Holy crap! The whole gang's coming in.
They are, yeah.
Here's your reverse. I can't say. Here's your reverse card, Chuckle Nuts.
The gang's all here.
They are. They're coming. They're coming.
No,
yeah, look at-
it's like this. Nice hustle, tons of fun. Next time, eat a salad.
What'd you think about that?
that's awesome.
I think
Right,
I think I'm
put
gonna
this
take
together.
Sasha out for a steak dinner tonight. What do you think about that?
Here's a
People have
schematic
tried,
for you.
people have tried
My
to rip roll
butt.
me.
Yes,
Never
here's a
worked.
schematic for you. My arse.
No.
All right then. You reckon it off?
No, it's like this. If you order now, I'll throw in a second bean absolutely free.
Oh, your heads look 12.
Yeah.
Oh, your heads look bloody
if you guys
12 feet
are-
tall.
if you guys
Also,
are hearing race
because of
voices,
the
I'm
Oh,
playing
we-
that card.
I murdered your
Also-
toys as
Yeah,
well.
I can hear them, Daniel. I can hear the race cars in the background. very
Also,
clearly.
Glenn. Did you like
Hey,
what I said when I came
hey,
in? I was
Ethan.
just like, "Permission to come
I
aboard,
figured-
Captain."
Yes, I heard. Hey guys,
I like
give me
Captain.
time out. Let one guy speak over things.
I'll
Kane
speak
fan.
first.
Yeah.
I figured you might like this. And it's actually related to Titanic, so I think we will be okay.
Okay, all right.
So what's this about then?
You'll see. I'll
Granny's name
wait
was
till
in that.
everyone can see it and I'll show you. I
Okay,
figured you guys might like it.
I'm going to mute my mic.
Oh shoot! Not this again, please. I've seen this many, many times on YouTube videos, and it's insane.
This?
So like,
It's actually not too
Yeah.
bad.
I've seen
What
people
is
do
it?
crazy things with this. You know, like they've recopied how it would have sunk or anything, and it's just insane, man. Yeah,
What?
they take. Yeah, it's really
Seriously,
insane.
yeah.
This game is, but it's really cool. Don't get me wrong, but holy crime!
It's alright.
I don't really get too insane with the sinks. All I do is
No, but with some of the levels that they do, I mean, it's literally insane. Don't get me wrong.
What? What's going
There you
on?
go.
I've been trying to recreate the night of the sinking.
I've already
What
done
are
the
you
same.
doing?
I can
What are
see
you
the picture
doing?
figure. It's doing a replication
Yep.
of how.
I'm a greedy peanut.
Oh,
The
what
only
the
I'm having a
First it was
slight
Titanic.
issue with the the simulation settings and I can't get it open. I wonder, is it tabbed out? Let me take a look real quick. I might have had it. No, I think I broke it. I broke the game in less than 5 seconds. That's skill.
God.
Nobody,
That's terrible, man. I guess
Nobody-
Titanic.
and I mean nobody
guess-
can replicate that. I broke
guess
the
the-
game in
I'm back,
less
I'm
than
back,
5
gentlemen.
seconds.
I
That's
think
You
Titanic must have
broke
been
it!
watching you.
You broke the game, man!
I
You
think
broke
Titanic must have been
the bloody
watching you
game!
saying, "You're not going to
You
send me."
broke the
No, I got
bloody
it.
game, man.
That's
Restart.
what you get for touching that.
It's almost like
Restart
All
the
I was
game.
trying to do was
Restart the
get rid of the
game.
tsunamis because
Jim,
here's the bad part about
Jim,
the game.
remember
They
this?
like,
Don't tell
Are you
me
freaking
Google.
kidding me? This is all your fault!
oh my god, there's so
You're
many people
all
talking.
dishonorably discharged.
That's a lot
You'll
of
never
people.
take me alive!
No.
You'll
how
never
about
take me
that?
alive. Ah!
Yeah.
No,
You'll never
they'll
take me
never
alive,
take me alive.
coppers!
We're going a bit way off topic here. So this is a very serious mattering. I think.
No, we're going a little bit off course, Glenn. Am I right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
we're going off.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
yeah.
going off
Let's get
course.
back on track here, guys.
We don't want to.
Hey, at least,
We don't want to verbally ram ourselves into a verbal iceberg. Okay, so
hey, at least if we
Verbal
verbally
iceberg
run ourselves
Titanic
off course, we won't
6.2.
hit the iceberg. Am I right?
2.0.
I'm staying on course. Also, way.
If we run
from the
ourselves off
iceberg.
course, we won't
Okay.
hit said iceberg.
I think I can fix it. I think what happened was
Can
I
you?
pressed the wrong button and
you
I
fix
broke
it?
it.
How
Can
can
you
you
fix
fix
it?
it?
Bob the Builder,
How-
I can fix anything.
Are you okay? But I think Fix It Felix may beg to differ.
I'll fix it, Felix.
there we go. Let's see if this works now. Okay, guys. Let's
Okay,
not
there we
go
go.
off.
There we go.
Try one. Let's try again. Okay.
Give us the sink. Give us the sink. Give us the sink. Give us the sink. Give us the sink.
Hey, don't change, man. We don't want to do any. Just how it is, man. I'm very sensitive over this thing because Titanic's my girl. In terms of the
Yeah, far wherever.
Hey, that's not that song either.
No.
Don't sing that either.
No.
Oh, God, Celine
It's
Dion,
like
man.
this. It's like
That-
this.
that song is highly
Near,
copyrighted,
far, a copyright.
Yeah, all the
Shut mom.
No, it's
Right.
like,
Hang on for a second, guys.
Okay.
it's like this. It's like this.
Oh,
Never gonna
we-
copyright.
Oh wait, no. Clear. All right. If I'm correct, it was a clear night, right? So when I make
Wrong.
it nighttime,
No, it was so pitch black that they couldn't see anything because they didn't have their binoculars.
No, I'm pretty sure
Like
those
this.
I mean,
Have you
songs
seen
that
the found the
was-
binoculars? It's like, have you found the binoculars yet? Haven't seen them since Southampton, sir.
Well, I'll be on my rounds then. Cheerio. I know. I always laugh at that scene. Don't get me wrong. Just how it was just so done. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
really
it's just funny 'cause
fun.
it's like-
guys. So,
Oh my
You're so
god,
right.
Glenn, you should have worn your original captain's outfit, the one that you wore on Queen Mary.
I still have it. Yes. but I'm
Yeah,
not wearing it.
when you run the
not wearing it this year.
when you run the Queen Mary and when the Queen Mary blew its horn, it scared the crap out of you.
I know it did.
Yeah,
I was
when the horn,
anticipating it.
when you had a horn attack, when you had a horn attack.
Yeah.
You didn't just have a heart attack, you had a horn attack.
Yeah, I know. I did give Queen Mary good sterling talking. Listen, I mean, it was so funny though. But listen, I was going to wear it, but the thing is, I'm going to wear it for next year's event. Okay, guys. So trust me on that.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
hope.
I'll be wearing it next year though. But for now, I'm just wearing the cap.
Okay.
there we go. I'm gonna
Captain
try and
James.
keep it like a little quieter because I know we're probably all going deaf.
Oh, because we're all
Well,
talking
not-
about it.
Not me.
Yeah. All right. Well, since we don't have icebergs and we have a whole bunch of tsunamis, I guess I should make
Oh boy, don't make. Oh boy, don't
Oh,
turn
God.
don't turn RMS Titanic into an RMS Poseidon. Okay. Yes, I'm serious.
Why would I do that?
Because Rogue Wave, Ocean Lion, it's the Poseidon adventure, only 1912 style with Titanic doing the role.
Exactly.
He just changed all the.
No, it's
The
like
bullet.
no,
Oh,
it's like
God,
it's
it's
like
going
it's like
down.
this.
Oh, there she goes.
Water was
She's
that
going.
heavy.
She's going. Bulkheads are filled up. Yep, pulling her down by the head.
Oh, yep.
All
It's
of them
going down.
six will be flooded.
try and slow her down real quick.
No, Glenn. It was just like this. What was it? It was like he's like this. Oh my god, I've never seen anything like it. By the way, Happy New Year. Thank you, sir. You too. And then he's just like when he looks through the binoculars and when he looks through the when he just looks through the binoculars and he sees that thing, he's just like, oh my god, hard left.
Yeah, but we would all be reacting that way. Oh, by the way, Jessica's gone now. Damn,
Jessica,
Oh.
no.
Yeah.
There we go.
Jessica, come back.
Jessica,
This
funny
actually
story
gives an
as
accurate representation of what happened that night, because look at the ship. What do you see what's going on with the ship right now?
Yeah,
well,
what's
she's
going on
down
with
it's
it?
going down first, so
She's going down just like in the film. Just like we said, the watertight compartments are overflowing into another. The valve's been pulled down and it's straining the vessel. This is something that was not anticipated by the designer.
It's bending.
Yeah, she's bending
but
her
the
back.
problem, the thing about it is though, is that for everyone who's wondering, if you already
And
know,
back.
which is specifically Glenn, Daniel, and I think possibly Jim, but I'm the one who actually helped Jessica regain her senses and brought her back to her
Oh,
prime.
there it goes. I'm glad you.
I'm the one-
What was all that about?
I'm the one
you
who
go.
helped Jessica the Ginty actually get, come back to, be
Good.
forgiven, and people accepted her for accepted her, forgave her, they accepted her apology.
Well, I've had no beef with Jessica. okay,
guys.
so what I'll do.
No, I'm just saying, that's not what I mean,
No
Glenn. That's not what I
Oh,
meant.
it's breaking.
Oh,
The
she's snapping her
ship
back.
is breaking.
Oh,
It's
she's
not
trying to
splitting.
snap
It
her
ain't splitting yet. It doesn't split until half of the bow is underwater.
No, but it is starting to. It's just beginning to now. If the breaker perhaps
This
had
shows
better
the strain.
yeah,
because
strange
the
that
Titanic
was
was-
not.
Back here, I learned this actually the other day from my little stream that I did. Here, the ship is really, really light. While back here, all the weight's on the engines. The engines are right here on all the boilers.
They're very heavy. They're basically Titanic's going through design strains that had never been done before. I mean, they never simulated anything about this, nor would there be like a stress peak, because that's the thing they never did. There was no simulation back in them days, unlike what we do see today.
Oh,
Not to
you
mention,
hear it?
yeah, but
Listen,
here,
A small bit of it.
she's not happy.
no,
she
she's
is
breaking
not
up.
happy.
The
Not
growing
happy,
has
she's
been much
dying.
better.
No,
Be
Titanic's
right
actually
back
dying
again,
now.
dying.
Real quick.
guys.
No, Titanic's actually dying
Okay,
out.
we don't need the
I can hear
bubble
it.
sound effects or the wind sounds.
Don't want wind
I think
sounds,
that's
no.
all. Oh,
Just
it's
heard
spreading. It's spreading
hear
more.
it. The strain level's becoming way too much. I can see it
Is
happening.
it?
It's just like in the real timeline.
Make it a little bit darker. What do you think?
Rowan Mashup, why are you saying in the prior chat saying me scratch that, and of course it'll be for next year? I am very aware of it.
A little bit light
Oh.
would be nice.
I think Titanic will be resurrected by next year if it does happen.
You guys
and the
see this
pandemic
right
is
now?
spoiled. Yep, it's cracking. Yep, the breakup is happening
Yep,
right now.
cracking.
Cracking
On
down.
the
The
deck.
bow is under.
Yep, the bow's under, but like I said, the bridge is there. At that point, Cam Smith's already accepted his fate and he will die, just like he did in the movie.
Yeah,
So I do believe it did happen in real life. I say this every time. I do believe he died like the way he did in the 1997 film.
Yeah.
I argue with this. I do believe
But
that's how he
here's
died.
the thing. This is what you have to remember about the Titanic. What do you see about this ship that's going on right now? What is she doing? Yes, she's sinking, but what else is it doing?
It's bending and straining. It's
Right
basically
here,
beginning
you
to-
could see it. It has a
The
curve.
breakup
It's like a
comes-
banana. Think of it
It's
like
that
the banana.
a V shape.
Yeah, it's that banana theory that James Cameron said. Yeah, it's peaking its stress.
Even though she
basically-
didn't break here, because
No.
the James Cameron movie showed that, she actually broke
we
up
thought
in the
we did.
middle.
Yeah, we actually thought we did.
Yeah.
We all thought Titanic broke behind the third smokestack. I even still believe that too, still. But at this point, yeah, she broke right
But
in the
it
middle.
also
Okay.
explains because have you ever
Okay,
seen
then.
pictures of the Titanic where it's like all flat right here? Like the back of the ship is
Wait, where'd
collapsed
Daniel
right
go?
here.
Oh, his Wi-Fi cut out. I'm gonna put Rowan Mashup in for a change.
Okay.
Hey, Rowan Mashup.
What's
Hey,
up?
Rowan.
Mash up. We meet again, old friend.
So
At this point, the lights would be breaking out. Okay, at this point, the lights would go out by this point. Because
Yeah,
Well, they wouldn't go
Real
out
ass
yet
up, what's
because
up?
you have to remember they stayed with the ship until the very, very end.
Yeah, that's
I
what
just
mean.
want to know how long is this going to hold, because I don't know if you noticed, these are straining really hard right now.
Yeah,
Like these are
Titanic's
really, really
robotic.
loose. And
Yeah, basically the
then if I
expansion
show
joint-
you here, just
I know.
just to give you
Basic,
a little.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Basically, the expansion joints are slowly
Better.
opening, but they're starting to overwhelm Titanic to the point where she will not take it anymore. There's got to be a limitation. Something's going to give. It's like a pressure cooker that's ready to go at any time.
I would like to see if I could get the light.
So, King fan.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh.
There it is.
So,
Oh, there it goes.
Oh.
There it goes. She's finally broke her
What?
back. There it goes. It's the break. It's the early
Listen,
break of
Carl.
a shallow angle.
no, the wire.
Oh my God, the telegraph. Well, their SOS signals are toast.
No.
Well, the
That's all
SOS
I
signal.
There it
Holy
goes.
crap! Holy
Yeah,
crap!
her
The
keel's
funnels are
finally
just
letting
crushing
go,
the
yeah.
ship.
Okay,
Well,
the
the
break up
one's
there,
going
Titanic
down.
didn't go it that way, but there's the answer right now.
The
Yeah.
forward funnel is
that's the only way
just
to
crushed
actually
the
get
grand
the fall.
staircase.
See, look, it's
But
exactly
you
just
see,
like
look
this.
it's ripping the double bottom off.
Yeah, her keel,
Look
the
at
double bottom section is what's holding
It's
on.
holding, but it's ripping.
It's just like in that 2006 theory where they said about the V-shaped thing. The double bomb holds up, and eventually they give way. So she was still hanging on, and eventually, at some point, the two separated, and then finally she split.
Oh no! Don't go into the darkness. RMS
No,
Titanic.
don't, mate. Honestly,
Don't go
by
into
by this point, Titanic would have already been dead. Like legitimately.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Look how
she-
dark it is down
To
there.
put that in human form, she'd be spitting blood and
Yeah,
guts
I
everywhere. At
fixed
this point.
it.
To put this in enemy form,
Oh.
to put this in enemy form, she'd be splitting her guts everywhere.
Oh, she's
And
going
blood.
down.
Oh,
You hear the
See, the
music?
valve. Yep, the valve's
I can
going.
hear
Don't
it.
want no copyright, man. The bike.
I'm gonna
the valve's
release
going
her because she's tearing apart.
Listen, the valve's going under.
But look at the damage that caused when it ripped. You see what it did to the funnel?
damage?
when it broke-
Hey, Greg, stop
No.
being dramatic. I'm being
Like-
serious.
I'm actually
Yeah,
I'm not the one being dramatic. That was Phil Swift.
Tart.
I know you both. There we go. There it goes. Valve's broken free. There it goes.
Now that's a lot of damage.
I don't
There
think.
we
I
go.
think the
There we
stern
go.
needs just a little bit of help
Can
because
you?
it seems like she's
I
not.
just find it so unfortunate that Titanic only lived one day. Titanic only
I'm
lived
just
one
gonna
day.
give it a little assistance.
Not really.
Because
she
it
lived
seems
for a
like
couple
it's
of
not really
days and then
sinking
she held on
properly.
early. No, it's not now, but we can see the double bottom has
It
finally
goes.
separated, and now the stern will eventually follow suit. Just as we.
Hey, let's
I
play.
have to
Let's play.
Here's the bad part about that. I have to assist it. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's play. Just imagine that after that bow goes off screen, it just says Titanic's bow fell out of the world.
Hey, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
as what's his name? The guy who played him. Says like she's now taking her long fall.
What
from
guy
a world
played him?
frog. I know.
But here's the
Yeah,
thing. This is what you
minutes.
have to watch because you could see
Don't
how the
get-
front of the
I'll
ship's
come in.
like not going straight.
No, but it
Oh
should-
wait, no, what? It
basically-
actually is fixing itself. It is fixing
Yeah,
itself. Look at that.
Is the mask giving? Is the crow's nest gonna fall? Because I know it falls right back
Oh,
on.
the-
Fell
the ship
forward.
actually
It fell
broke
It
back.
should. Yeah, because
Because
look how much
the-
strain it's going through right now. Look, that
Yeah,
part's
the bow-
broken.
the-
That's
yeah,
part. It's
Yeah,
breaking.
because the crow's
Yeah.
nest fell right backwards and crushed the bridge.
It did. It fell backwards and
Oh,
just
yeah, but
smacked
look
out
at-
there, right there.
S- Yeah, but here's the scarier part.
Here's the-
See the bow here? Look at the long fall it has to go.
yeah, 2
Well,
miles
that's
down,
because
I
it's
know.
actually that's pretty accurate
Go
because it
for-
did fall.
Oh my God, we gotta-
It did go
Go
2,000
for-
feet.
He's gonna go in the darkness.
Yeah, basically Titanic
The
would
Titanic went down like the Titanic went 2,000 feet below the surface, below the surface. So
12,000
5
feet.
minutes to reach the
Well over
bottom.
12,000. I thought it was 2,000.
Yeah,
That's
it was-
falling 2 miles
it was
down.
about
3,000
12,000 feet.
feet.
Wait. Let me check.
3,000 feet.
Hold up, gentlemen. Let me check.
She's saying
There.
She's saying
I want to make it
4
rough, but not too
kilometers.
rough. That you know.
Yeah, she fell
So
4
if we look-
kilometers from the sea
Let me
level.
look, Glenn. Hold on, Glenn. I'm looking.
I'm being
She-
serious.
No.
Hey, look,
Okay. It says
look,
here.
she's
It says
leveling
here.
herself out now.
Guys,
She's leveling
listen.
herself out.
Guys, listen. Listen, I got it right here. It says, the ship, which fell to the seabed in 2 parts, can now be found 370 miles off the coast of Newfoundland at a depth of roughly 12,600 feet. Fields of
Yes,
debris
it's right.
surround each part of the wreck, including some of the ship's bunkers, passengers' luggage, wine bottles, and even the intact face of a child's doll. Ugh.
No, I told you,
Ugh.
she sank over 12,000 feet. I was right, told you.
All right.
Oh.
Don't need to rub it in, Glenn.
I'm not rubbing it in, I'm being very serious here.
Oh no! Don't change all the funnels off. No.
Don't be kind. Hey.
Well,
Hey, comrade.
unfortunately,
Freezing.
they don't fall off at their own will, so I kind of gotta like cut them off, you know.
Yeah, that's just how it works. I get it.
So
You don't need to be
what?
drama, but like I said, I do feel like I know there's so many theories about the breakup theory of Titanic. Like there's so many, but we've all like,
funnels. No.
okay, stop being okay. Sorry, lads, I'm not gonna
Comrade,
write that.
oh Glenn, Comrade the OP
Comrade.
commentator
Oh.
said, "Ahoy, Captain
Yeah.
Whoa!
Glenn."
What the heck happened back here?
Whoa,
Whoa.
Stern's not even going.
Did I
up for it.
accidentally
Oh,
slice?
yes,
Yeah,
Did
yes,
I
yes,
actually
yes,
slice
yes.
off the rudder?
No, you
Just a
didn't
bit.
slice
All
off
right,
the
I'm
Well,
just
that's
rudder.
gonna
good.
remove
No,
this tool.
Just
no,
a little
no,
bit.
you didn't fully slice off the rudder. You just sliced off like a tiny tiny
Just a teeny weeny
pizza
bit.
slice. A teeny veeny.
Oh wow! Look at this. Look how much. Look how fast it's going right now.
Yeah, it's got all the air in the thing
Yeah,
has
we're
gone out
hoping
now.
to go
So it should be
fast.
traveling about in real timeline. It will have traveled about roughly 25 miles an hour down to the seabed and planed itself out, just like it's doing right now. It would have righted itself and smacked dab at the bottom. It's just
I'll have to assist her
making-
when she reaches the bottom. I'll have to grab her because when she reaches the bottom, she's gonna tear herself apart, and I don't want
I
to
know
see that
she'll
happen.
she'll snap it back temporarily and through the water column, and eventually she just rests there
No,
in the hole.
I mean like
and you have a downward blast spiral.
like Glenn. When this thing hits the bottom, it's gonna explode everywhere. That's how
dear.
realistic the physics are in this game. It'll explode upon impact because you see how far she has to go. She still has to go all the way down here. That's the very bottom,
C4.
and she's only like quarter of the way down. Meanwhile, the stern is actually like vibing up here
Holding
pretty
itself.
good. Oh wait,
Yeah, basically,
Never
the stern
mind.
basically has
Never
plenty of well, I was going to say basically the stern has a bit of buoyancy hanging in there, but eventually, I don't get it. Yeah, basically,
you know what the
no,
sad
that-
part about this is? I've never got this ship able to do what it just did. I've played this game multiple times, and I've never got the ship to do what it's doing right now.
Yeah, it is. It's
'Cause-
really,
At the very end, when this is going down, it actually did go vertical somewhat, because it's actually what it's doing right now. If it was real life, it's actually going down and twisting. So right now, this part of the ship would actually be facing us. The deck would be facing us, and then it would be vertical. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
somewhat vertical right now.
yeah, basically the stern is holding itself up with the buoyancy thing, but eventually that thing is going to fall down. Listen, it's going to go through, and then eventually, when she goes down, the stern implodes, and everything gets absolutely just torn apart inside.
Exactly.
Which
the
would be
old
like-
horror.
I'm not going to get
Yeah,
too
the whole
crazy
thing-
with it, but we're just going to pretend those right there.
Yeah, the whole.
That's the
yeah,
implode.
the whole,
So
yeah,
when
the
I
whole
hit
thing
D,
implodes.
detonate,
It's like holding a deck of cards stacked in your hands, and you blow it in the breeze this way. It's gonna be fine, but if you turn it this way, they'll always go boom, just like that. That's basically the impact that the stern had when it flowed in. Because of all the trapped air that was involved, and it just blew up like a nuclear.
you know what's really
explosion.
scary right now? What I'm watching, how I'm watching this
What?
What
move.
is it?
Look at this is the only part that's colored. You see how it's changing color?
Yeah.
It's already starting to rust. Or
Yeah,
like
quick deterioration, bro.
This is an accurate
Oh, there she
representation
goes.
of Glenn's day on the Queen Mary.
Hey. Yeah, that's Queen Mary.
Queen Mary, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm like, Queen Mary, please. It's basically like giving me
Like,
giving
look,
us a
see,
sign
I
off.
have no power. There's nothing. There's no
Behind.
power. She's just.
Here we go, lads. Look, here's
That's
another
it, it's
thing.
the end.
This is from James Cameron's last dive. This was an early simulation. If any of you guys may remember this one from 2005, because I remember this really, really well.
Yeah.
Just a quick timer. Here we are. Look.
Let's have a look.
There it is.
Yeah, seeing that one.
Iceberg, right ahead!
Full steam ahead.
That actually is it right there. I think we should salute to the Titanic. She's making her final plunge.
Right away.
She's gone.
When the fatal bird was
The
first seen,
The stern mast is now disappearing into water, and it's gone. That's it.
Exploded head-on, but the 46,000-ton ship struck the iceberg a glancing blow. It was not a huge hole that started the Titanic sinking, but a series
Oh!
Anyway, hey, I'll let you go. Carry on. I got some stuff to do. So I speak.
Wow, that actually was very accurate.
All right, Thomas.
Kane fan, you might want to take a look at this.
I'll see you later, guys. Bye.
Like,
Stop over talking, please.
Rest in
All
peace.
one of it.
that's a very accurate implosion right there.
I see. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the implosion's definitely accurate.
But
By the way, Glenn,
see,
I'm
what
going. By
happened
the way,
was, I'll
Glenn,
show you.
Stop
Technically,
over talking.
this right here and that,
it's me talking.
those should
I'm
be
talking
cut
to
off
you.
because they actually flew.
I'll see you
So we
guys.
take
Bye.
you.
Okay. Take care, Thomas. And take care, man. That's having you on.
I'll speak to you when you do the next live stream.
We will. Don't worry. Don't, you don't have to worry. Depends really what's going to happen.
Ugh.
Take care, man.
Okay then.
Okay, then let's get
Oh, did you see, Keen fan? You see what I did?
Yeah, I
should
see it.
just call-
Hey,
I should just call you Glenn.
yeah, you can call
But-
me Glenn or Kane or whatever the fact. I reply to both names.
Oh yeah, right. Oh
See,
right,
this is
Glenn.
what I
Milos
did.
just said it. Milos just said it.
Since
accurate,
I knew
very
the ship-
important, very good
Oh.
fact.
Wow, it's already
Guys.
doing this little spiral.
It's doing the spiraling effect, yep, just like it did in the just as it did in real
And
life.
look, there go the boilers. I think I see the boilers coming out.
Yep,
from the
even
back.
Miles doing,
So,
even Miles doing
We're
the exact
correct.
same thing.
This comes off.
Yeah, the flag goes off. Yeah, who is literally like typing like mad here? I can hear like
I'm
someone
not.
clicking.
All right, let's
But
see. How are you doing down
Milo
here?
says that Milo said, fun fact, that simulation is an updated version of the one from 1995, which is the one that they used in the movie in 1997.
Yeah, Milos is also playing the same game you're playing, by the way. Let's play, mate.
Well,
Like,
actually, technically the movie, the scene with the simulation of the sinking was filmed in 1995. So that was filmed in 1995, and the movie came out in 97. So the scene where he's describing to Rose about the ship sinking with the simulation was filmed in 1995.
Yeah, basically they were doing it at the time. If you remember, this was at the time when we believed how it really unfolded. That was what we knew back then. Okay, it's amazing what we discover new everything every day. Titanic always reveals new things to us. Just when we think we got the story.
I did raise the depth a little bit. That way we can see what happens when it hits the ocean bottom.
Yeah.
Like I said, I am going to have to assist it when it hits bottom because it's literally going to tear itself apart.
There we go. Very, very accurate, as you can see.
I'm actually probably gonna move the stern over because it's gonna land right on top of the bow. So you know what? We're gonna put you over here. Over here.
The iceberg opened the front 5, and Titanic was doomed.
Wait, no, that's wrong. The stern landed over here. Right about there. What do you think? Is that right? Is that about right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yep, there goes the
look.
funnels.
By the way, if you look, you can actually see little bits of debris. Like if I zoom out, you can see little dots of debris.
The bigger front section went down first, dragging the stern of the ship completely vertical, before tearing itself free and going down like a torpedo, ripping off most of the superstructure.
I would love to grab this right now and just give it a little nudge to see what happens when it hits the ocean floor, but I'm not that cruel. I like to let nature take its course when it comes to these things. Well, it's not even really nature, it's just sinking. Look at the funnel! The funnel actually tore... Oh wait, no, that's not the funnel. That's the double bottom, actually, now that I look at it.
Okay. Now that's got to get going, as you may have noticed there, lads.
What?
Barry Laship had to get going. His spring breaks.
Yeah, I saw. And then Miles goes on to say, interestingly enough, the model that had been used in those early simulations was updated for the Final Word documentary. Yeah, I saw that actually. I saw that documentary on TV.
I love that. To be honest, I love that documentary. 2012, I remember it so well. Probably the most emotional one I ever pulled off. We cried a few times.
It still blows me away how James Cameron made a life-size replica of Titanic, and he basically, this was the first time that anybody had seen quote unquote the Titanic in its glory, from one side at least. But now China has been taking that to the next. China and the Blue Star Line have taken that to the next level.
Well, basically, indeed, yeah. Well, like I said, at least we now know Titanic will have a full replica of herself in a parkway, which is kind of cool. But at least we're also going to have, basically, as I would like to say, a replica of herself with a new body form, but her soul will be reawakened, technically resurrecting her from the dead, as I like to call it.
Hey,
well, honestly,
Glenn.
I feel bad.
Glenn. Hey, go ahead, train lover. Go ahead.
Thank you. I was going to say that I just can't believe that Titanic's final hours are coming quicker than ever.
Well, they are coming quick. Well, it's been 109. Well, actually, it's already right now. It's like the 15th of April right now. So already by this point, she's long since hit the bottom since.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about her in general right now, because her life of being underwater for so many years is already coming. The clock is ticking, and she's not going to be there. Listen, she was already long.
Look, the less we discuss that, the better. Please, Greg, because think about it. I know the original wreck will eventually deteriorate afterwards, but
that's what I'm saying.
But with this new version of Titanic coming up, it'll basically just reawaken and have a new. It's basically, like I said, it's a new body form, but the soul of the Titanic will be reawakened. So technically, as I always keep saying, she's coming back to us, like she's resurrecting for a new life. It's like, I hate to, and I don't want to get too religious, it's like the day Jesus resurrected on Easter Day, when he came back, That's how I'm looking at Titanic too. Basically, Titanic herself in our time, ready to fulfill, to complete what she started. That's how I'm describing this whole thing. I mean, I know it's not the original, but who are we to care, to be honest? We're Titanic buffs, I'm a big Titanic fan. Bit of an historian, but I have a very, very, I mean, we've all got our romantic interest with Titanic and lightness towards it, no matter what, Again, not to be claimed, but I fell in love with the vessel for the last 11 years. Hence why I do my fanfic, which is the thing that everybody takes the piss on. And as you said, Greg, that's the reason why people don't like me, because they think, Now, speaking of which, this is what I did last night, Greg, as part of the celebration. I know people won't like it, but this is what I did last night. This is actually Captain Smith and Titanic in their last moments together in the year before he dies.
Okay, now that's sweet. That's sweet. That's sweet.
It is basically because they're both going to die together, but as Titanic's going to basically it's going to consume him, but he'll have his soul, but his body's going to be destroyed anyway. But it's like in the movie, this is what he does. And there's Titanic when you piss her off when she's in her dark form.
By the way, Glenn, just wanted to let you know that in about 46 minutes, StreamYard is going to be doing their live stream success event on Hoppin.com.
Hey,
basically, they're going to be announcing new features for StreamYard, so there might be an update coming. So in 46 minutes, I will be joining that.
I'm not sure I won't be able to because I have lost my time.
Well, of course, but it will be recorded and they will probably be sharing it on YouTube. I don't know, but
who knows?
But let me know. StreamYard is doing that in about 45 minutes in my time.
And by the way, now in case you don't know who this is, that's the captain on the Olympic who's telling the Olympic that Titanic had just passed. And
I just can't believe that. I just couldn't believe that all the pictures that are out from Titanic are actually Olympics. I just couldn't believe that.
Not really. It was
most of them. I mean, because technically most of the ships were identical, so they couldn't. So when they took a picture of Olympics Grand Staircase, they were told not to take a picture of the Titanics because there was really no difference. Only thing they took on pictures of the Titanic were the things that were differentiated from the Olympic. That's all. That's the only thing. The only pictures they took on Titanic were the differences of the two.
Well, there was actually a clerk, or whatever her name was. His name was Frances Brown, who was on Titanic. Did take some good shots of Titanic on her short maiden voyage to give us the idea of what it was like on board for those
Yeah, I
very
know.
short months. Which
I
have
know
become
that.
very. They would say have stood the test of time to this very day.
It's just, but it was 1912. What do you expect? People couldn't tell the difference between the ships.
Yeah, because even on the news camera, and when you see Olympic from the stern and Titanic from the stern, from the third funnel to the fourth and Sterling, they look very identical there, and that's what people couldn't tell the difference from.
I can't believe people believe that the Titanic and Olympic were swapped. That's complete bullcrap.
No, that did not happen. No, let's not look. The less we talk about
Exactly.
the theory, the better. That really irritates a lot of people, including myself.
Because it's fact. The Olympic was literally Titanic wasn't even finished yet whenever Olympic came back from after coming in contact with the HMS Hawk.
Basically, Titanic gave up her spot in the dry dock, and eventually, she lost her critical maiden voyage spot, and then eventually she had to sacrifice one of her propeller shafts for Olympic on February.
Yeah, Milos. That's exactly Milos. The reason why I brought it up is because we have to prove to people that it's false.
Yeah, I mean, there are those who do think of it, though, but I don't think that ever really happened, because you have two vessels. It wouldn't. I mean, I think if they would have pulled it off, would have had to have happened at night time. But in the daytime, you would never have done it. But I don't think it's possible. There's just no way they could have swapped the two entities around. It would just never happened.
Hey, Glenn.
Yes?
She hit the seafloor.
I saw it. Titanic hit the bottom. Yeah. Basically, by now, about 2:20 in the morning of this day, she would have made contact already. And by now, it's 4:12 in the morning. So at this point, in the afternoon right now, on my end, so in the timeline, Carpathia would have already picked up the survivors, or actually has arrived at the scenery right now, picking them up at this point, I think.
I can't believe Carpathia is gone. Carpathia is also gone.
Yeah, Carpathia.
Well, she served her time in the war when she died 4 years after Titanic.
I mean, it's just that what's unfortunate too is just that Queen Elizabeth, the ship never made it. Unlike her sister Queen Mary. Queen Mary had survived the war. She successfully survived the war, and she retired peacefully at Long Beach, California. However, Queen Elizabeth, on the other hand, Queen Elizabeth burst into flames, and she was left to just rust in the middle of the ocean.
I believe I had
it's proven fact that Queen Elizabeth was left abandoned, and after so many years of just sitting there, she became literally unrecognizable. The only way you could tell it was her was because of the two funnels and the very small recognition of a Cunard Line bridge.
If they saved both ships, it would have been nice, but I don't think Queen Elizabeth would have fit in Long Beach because she was even bigger than her sister.
Nah, technically, I think Queen Mary was. Queen Mary was big. Queen Elizabeth, how was she bigger? Queen Elizabeth only had two funnels. She didn't have three engines. She had two engines.
But I think she was a lot longer than her sister. I think.
What the heck is this ship?
That's Elizabeth.
Is it? Doesn't look anything like her.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
No, that's not Elizabeth. Here, I'll show you Elizabeth.
Who is
that? No, that's the let me see. That is the HMS Danic. It's like Danish.
Oh, HMS Danic.
Okay.
Oh, a Danish liner.
Yes, they have the Hindenburg as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. Imminent disaster.
Also, Glenn, is that your share screen that you had on?
No, that was him, not mine. I'm just gonna
wait. Let's play. Do you play Ponytown?
Maybe.
That's awesome. I do too. So we're one and the same, amigo.
You just said it.
You could add me on Discord if you want. I can send you my Discord. Do you want it?
I'll get it. I'll get it later.
Hey, did you see my Titanic server, mate?
You didn't send it to me yet. Oh wait.
I invited
Queen
you.
Mary. Where? I know she's here. I saw her. There's the America.
Please, I want to see the Queen Mary.
Yeah. Oh, you want to see the Queen Mary?
Of course I do.
There you go.
Oh, there she is.
Oh my! Oh my goodness!
I would never hurt.
Greg,
beauty. That's beauty.
Greg, you sound like Booker T there from WWE. It's like, my goodness.
Well, see, she doesn't have an engine, but I could just
ducky quack.
You're despicable.
No, that's what you said commentary.
Oh,
Queen Mary's afloat again.
I think.
Oh no! Queen Mary's
oh.
flying.
No, ships don't fly.
Queen Mary's
Ships don't
going
fly,
to the
goddammit.
moon.
I don't know what happened. I was just giving it a boost. Get back in the water.
Basically, she's doing what Titanic did. Basically, she is.
Oh no,
flying.
she's going under.
Oh wait.
Basically, she was flying then like Superman.
No, stop becoming a hydrofoil. No, I said stop.
Don't drown the queen, you murder. Oh wait, you split her falls up. Look, the code
You
of water.
murderer!
Well, see, I could actually drain her out real quick. Watch, I have the
Hey,
power.
I know
hold
that,
up.
but still, that would have worked her sinking in.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah. Have you ever
did
seen
I?
the?
Oh my! Did I see? Did I see a Thanos snap? Come on,
No.
man!
What, this?
I
Oh
didn't.
no!
Don't you dare! You fucking dare!
No, I
If
won't.
he's already going to
Here,
do it. 'cause
we'll use a random ship as experiment. Oh, by the way, they do have the race to
No,
Titanic.
oh my friend, no, don't do that, man. That's why I cut the share screen out. We do not do the Thanos snap.
No, we're not. I was just showing you.
He
Look, they have the
wasn't.
race to Titanic.
And there's Titanic as she appeared in the 1980 movie.
well, I don't know what she's doing.
well, because she's
spoiler
singing,
alert.
because she never wasn't really made.
Well, I
Wait, the
think
Titanic.
I think
the
the
Titanic
Titanic
from
from
that-
back is a little drunk.
Do you think? Do you realize where this? Do you realize why this is? Why she's doing that? Because of the fact that she's kind of old. I mean, when they raised her, she was completely unrecognizable.
Can I
Yeah,
Thanos
yeah.
snap this?
In the novel,
Is
she's
this allowed?
Can we
She's
Thanos snap this
old.
abomination?
Can
Glenn,
I?
can we please?
May I do the honors?
Wait, Glenn, can we just Thanos snap that abomination, please?
Oh, for F's sake, just do it. But if Akio
Thank
was here,
you.
he'd be pissed. Or do the death. Or basically do the. I was going to say do the Death Star explosion from Star Wars, which would be even better.
I
Well,
think
here's
that's much. I
the-
think
do you
because
see how
that
the water,
Titanic.
like,
Oh
ripples?
my God! What were they thinking?
Like I can do this.
Oh, God. Hey, who's singing? Okay, somebody's singing
Jim.
Dean Amber's theme song from
Jim.
Wait,
That doesn't even sound like it. It's just.
I do
Well,
know they have.
Yeah, you were.
Here's
You
your
said it
France.
first, beginning of it. Yeah, you were.
Here you go.
That doesn't
Here's-
even
here's
sound
the
like
SS
it.
France.
Well, you know what's crazy? The SS Normandy was a ship that I seem to find. I just think of the SS Normandy as the extra thick Queen Mary.
I always look at Normandy as a French
Here.
Titanic, to be honest, as far as I'm
We have-
concerned.
How do
we
you
have-
see it as a
oh.
French Titanic?
I just do. That's just
No,
me,
it's like
man.
no, you just shake the ship and you just shake the ship out of it. And
No,
then
really.
you just
Here,
Yeah,
oh, you
I'm
want
not
to
taking the shit out of anything, bro.
how it flies.
you just shake it and you just hear the people screaming like, "Oh my God!"
No, let's not go sexist there, Greg, man. Honestly, we don't want to think you're a perv, man. Jesus, let's not go that bloody far.
Copyright.
Yeesh.
Copyright.
I don't know why my FPS is tanking though.
In
Well,
any
your
case,
FPS is tanking you for trying to kill your computer.
we're almost done here, lads. So we've got a few more minutes off the go, so we're going to have to nearly cut this short here. But anyways, we're almost done now. Anyways, look, this was another one I did just briefly as well. That's actually Carpathia holding Titanic when she got to the scene
Oh.
in guilt.
Huh.
Like, I'm just too late to save you.
Well, I'm gonna head off and get to do some things, so I'll see you later next time, Glenn.
Greg, don't worry. It was nice for you to pop in, and it was an honor.
Oh,
I know. I'm just saying, but I'll see you next time.
oh.
And
By the way, train lover, here.
What?
I forgot.
What?
In the private chat, I'll send you this.
Well, technically, I can't get it because okay, maybe I'll take care of that. Sure.
hey, let's like guys.
Glenn, you're gonna have to just DM me on Discord his username, and then I'll do it on when I get on my home because I don't have because I can't use Discord on my school computer because they blocked it. So
Glenn, look!
Yes. What?
Titanic in a bottle!
Oh yes,
What?
I actually. Yeah. Oh, don't play the whole song. Okay, she bottleized herself.
I mean, there's also this too.
Wait, is it gonna fill up with water?
What the hell?
whoa, what in the name?
Multiple.
Wait, that's not multiple. Those are cities too, like New York.
Yeah, and Titanic's there too. Like multiple.
Fix
Okay,
Titanic.
Greg.
What?
Okay, Greg.
All
Hey,
right.
look,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
you even got the
All right.
nomadic.
Thanks for
we
sending it
got-
to me in my Discord. I'll look at it later. Anyways, see ya.
and look, we have the
care, man.
monstrous. We have the monster right here. There's the Carpathia. Then you got the Statue of Liberty. We're just gonna be gone. I'm gonna actually move New York over here because it's New York. New York does not deserve to be this close, and we're gonna get rid of this. We don't need that.
Just make contact with me on Discord. She's talking to me nicely.
Oh my
Hey.
god! Look at
What's
this.
Oh, Jesus. Anyways, guys, look, just before we end this up now, I've got to end this very quickly now. It's over now, so we've got to pay our last respects, bro. It's over, man. We finally did it.
It's a shame because I'd love to show you more of this. I figure you would like to. Oh, the nomadic has become a speedboat.
Speedboat nomadic.
Where's the Carpathia? There's a Carpathia.
Yeah, speaking of which, here's also
Well, the
some of these
iceberg is
shots
also
I did
drunk.
in Titanic, as you can see. Some of these shots here are basically from my fanfic. Like, that's the first time we see her in my fanfic when she saved my OC from death, turning her into an immortal. There he is, right there. And that's her when she finally grabs him and turns my OC to a non-human, apparently. Very, very spiritual.
You know what's really weird though?
Yeah, what's weird? What is weird?
Well, I've never actually seen this as a set. This is new. The Voyage 1912. Like, look, they have this too.
Okay, guys, I hate to jump the gun here now, but it's over now.
You gotta go.
We gotta wrap this one up. Guys, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in on this special stream on part 2. Thank you guys for coming in, having some good fun, and exchanging some good stories around. But it's finally come and gone. The 109th anniversary of RMS Titanic on my stream here has come full circle. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a pleasure having you guys on. And well, may they not be forgotten. And this is ChainFan701. Take care, everybody. Until then, on the 110th anniversary of the RMS Titanic sinking, nearer my God to thee, and may they all rest in peace.
Well said.